everyone. In this part of our presentation, we will talk about leadership for learning and development, focusing on coaching, mentorship, and continuous learning. Good day. I will discuss leadership for learning and development and why it is important in organizations today. Leadership for learning and development is a strategic approach where leaders actively foster environments that support skill enhancement, knowledge sharing, and personal growth. It goes beyond traditional management by embedding learning into the fabric of organizational culture. Leadership for learning and development is a style of leadership where leaders focus on creating workplace that encourages continuous learning, skill improvement, and personal growth. So it applies across sectors including corporate, educational, nonprofit, and government. So for example, in a company, ang supervisor is mag-encourage siya nga ang iyang mga employee nga ipa-undergo og training. So isa po to siya nga kanang isa ka leader nga gina-apply niya ang katong nga kani nga leadership. So in example sa eskwelahan. So ang isa ka teacher maghatag siya kanang iyang mga experiences para pod ang mga estudyante is na sila kanang maka-innovate po sila sa ilang mga gusto. So isa po na siya sa way nga inani nga leadership. So it also encompasses formal and informal learning system. Includes leadership behavior that model, facilitate, and sustain learning, target both individual and organizational development. So overall, the goal is to help both individuals and the organizations become better, smarter, and more adaptable. Slide 2, theoretical foundation. So this leadership concept is supported by 3 important theories that explain how learning and development should happen. First, transformational leadership. Second, adult learning theory. And lastly, the learning organization model. So, TL or transformational leadership inspires innovation and empowerment. So, this theory says that leaders should inspire people and encourage innovation. Example, a manager who challenges their team to think creativity and trust them to try new ideas. So TL inspires people to grow by empowering them. So next is the adult learning theory. So adult learning theory supports self-direct, experience-based learning. So this theory explains that adults learn better through self-directed and experience-based learning, not just lectures. So example, employees learn faster when they handle real tasks, try things themselves, and reflect on their experience. This is why companies gives on the job training, shadowing, and hands-on activities. So lastly is the LOM or learning organization model, encourage system thinking and collective growth. So this model believes organizations should be like living systems that keep learning and improving together. So example, a company that has weekly sharing session, open communication, and group problem solving. Together, these 3 theories form the backbone of leadership for learning and development. So foundational strategies. To make leadership for learning and development work, leaders focus on 3 key strategies. So these are mentorship, coaching, continuous learning. So mentorship means guiding someone based on experience. Example, a senior employee mentoring a new worker to help them understand the job and workplace culture. So next is the coaching. Coaching is more goal focused and helps someone improve performance. Example, A team leader helping staff member improve communication skills or productivity through regular feedback. So continuous learning, and this is the third. Continuous learning means constantly gaining new knowledge and skills. Example, companies giving access to online courses, trainings, or even simple weekly learning activities. So these three strategies are not just supportive, they are integral in leadership development because they first promote experiential and rational learning, which is more impactful than passive instruction. Next is build leadership across the levels of organization. Next is align with modern leadership theories that emphasize empowerment, adaptability, and lifelong growth. And in modern workplace, these strategies are necessary because change is constant. So people must keep learning.
So for this slide, let's talk about mentorship. Mentorship is basically a relationship where both people learn and grow. It's not just the mentee who benefits, but also the mentors develop throughout the process. The mentor is someone who guides, supports, and shares their ideas. The mentee is the one who listens, asks questions, and tries to improve. Throughout the partnership, both sides matures. The mentor becomes better at teaching and leading, while the mentee gains confidence, skills, and new ideas. Now let's move to the next slide, which talk about how mentorship works in real life. There are two types of mentorship, which are the formal and informal mentorship. So the formal mentorship is structured programs, assigned members, and measurable outcomes. The formal mentorship is everything is planned and organized. There is usually structured program, assigned mentors, and clear goals. The benefits of formal mentorship include career development, skill enhancement, and learning from someone more experienced in a clear guided way. And the informal relationship, on the other hand, is more natural and relaxed. This doesn't follow program, it usually just happens like when you look up to a senior, a co-worker, or even a friend who gives you advice. So to conclude, mentorship can happen in two ways, formal and informal, but both have the same purpose to help grow, support one another, and build skills together. Mentorship is not just a one-way street, it is a partnership where both mentor and mentee learn from each other.
This is my topic, coaching. The term coaching is literally comes from an Anglo-Saxon word for courage, which is something that takes you from where you are now to where you want to be. It is the skill of facilitating the performance, learning, and development of another, helping one to do his or her best, releasing a person's potential to maximize his or her own performance. Coaching closes the gap between thinking and about doing and performance at once best abilities through the individuals and private assistance of someone who will confront, motivate, and direct the individual to keep growing and developing. Coaching is like having a personal guide who helps you reach your own goals. It is way of helping someone learn and improve so they can do their best. The coach supports and motivates the member, pointing out areas to improve and help to find ways to get there. It is like a one-on-one partnership that helps the member grow and succeed. Example, a member wants to improve his public speaking skill. The coach, the coach asks him about what his goals and what he's struggling with. So the coach listens and give feedbacks or advice, suggesting ways to improve. So after taking that, the coach the members practice and receive supports and soon he become more confident speaking in front of the crowd. Coaching for leadership growth. There are three types of coaching strategy. First is executive coaching. It is a strategic leadership development. With this coaching strategy, leaders can improve their skills and make better decisions. Example, a manager lack of communication skill, and CEO where helps the manager to improve his or her speaking skills. The CEO give advice and feedback to the manager so that the manager can speak properly in the front of their employees. Second, peer coaching is a mutual support and accountability. With this coaching strategy, helping each other to improve their skills and stay accountable. Example, two colleagues helping each other, giving feedback or advices on their project management style. And third one is team coaching. This is a collective performance improvement. With this coaching strategy, helps a team work better together. Example, a coach helps a sales team to improve their strategy and to close more deals. And with this coaching strategy, you can build core competencies like active listening. With active listening, you can pay attention to what other persons is saying. And the second is the constructive feedback. With this, you can give helpful advice for improvement. And third is the goal setting. With this, you can set clear goals or you can set a target to achieve.
Continuous learning. According to the Management Training Institute, continuous learning in leadership is the process by which leaders consistently update their competencies to remain effective in dynamic environments. So it's not a one-time event, but a lifelong journey of growth, reflection, and adoption. So continuous learning means never stop learning, even after school or even after you already have a job. According to the Management Training Institute, leaders should keep improving their skills so they can handle new challenges in a changing world. So this is because things around us like technology, rules, and work system keep changing. So if a leader stops learning, they might not be able to guide their team as well. Continuous learning is not just about attending one seminar. It is a lifelong process. It involves regularly updating yourself, thinking about what you can improve, and being open to new ideas. For example, imagine a leader in a company. If they learn how to use new software, they can help their team work faster. So, but if they refuse to learn, they will struggle and the whole team will be affected. So overall, continuous learning helps leaders stay effective, confident, and ready for whatever comes next. So, fostering continuous learning. To support continuous learning, leaders and organizations must create an environment where learning becomes part of everyday life. So in the first bullet, build a culture of lifelong learning by encouraging curiosity, adaptability, and growth mindset. So first, leaders should build a culture that encourages curiosity and trying new things. This means people should feel comfortable asking questions and exploring ideas. Example, a leader might encourage the team to share one new learning every Monday. So, this simple habit helps everyone think, what else can I learn? In the second bullet, utilize tools and strategies like learning management systems or LMS, micro-learning modules, and communities of practice. Second, leaders can use tools like LMS, learning management systems, micro-learning videos, or group discussions. So, these tools make learning easier and more accessible to everyone. For example, a workplace may have an LMS where employees can take a short video 5 to 10 minute lessons. So, like how to improve communications or how to use new applications. So, in the third bullet, leaders should be a role model for learning behaviors and sustain engagement through recognition support. So, third, leaders should be a role models. So, people will not take learning seriously if their leaders that not learn as well. So, leaders must show that they are also improving and willing to grow or willing to learn. So, example, a leader attends a training session, so they comes back in their team and shares what they learned with the team as well. So, this motivates others to follow. Leaders should also support and recognize employees who show effort in learning. Even simple praises or appreciation can inspire people to keep improving. So, overall, when leaders create a learning-friendly environment, everyone grows together. The team becomes more effective and organizations become stronger.
So let's go on the strategic pillars of leadership for learning and development. So there are 6 identified pillars for this kind of leadership. So the first one is the strategic vision and alignment. So with this pillar, it allows leaders set clear vision that connects learning initiatives to organizational goals. So, for example, a retail company wants to expand online. So, in response, the leadership team of that company aligns their training programs to upskill their employees in e commerce, digital marketing, and customer service, ensuring that everyone works toward the same strategic direction. Then, the second pillar is empowering a culture of learning. With this pillar, leaders encourage their teams through curiosity, knowledge sharing, and continuous improvement. So, for example, a manager at a tech firm creates Learning Fridays, where employees share new tools or insights, which it builds a culture where learning is celebrated, not seen as extra work. Then the third pillar is the personalized learning journeys. So with this pillar, leaders recognize that each employee learns differently and tailor development opportunities. An example for this pillar is in a hospital, nurses are given personalized training paths. Some focus on leadership skills, others on advanced medical technology that base on their career aspirations and strengths. The fourth pillar is adapting to technological advancements. So, with this kind of pillar, leaders ensure teams stay updated with new tools and innovations. A sample scenario for this is a school principal introduces AI-powered learning platforms for teachers, training sessions that help educators adopt making classrooms more interactive and efficient. So the fifth pillar is collaboration and engagement. So with this kind of pillar, leaders foster teamwork and active participation in learning. So a sample scenario for this is a multinational company launches cross-country mentorship programs where employees from different regions collaborate virtually, exchanging knowledge and building global engagement. And the last pillar is the change management and reskilling. With this pillar, leaders guide their employees through transitions and equip them with new skills. So, a sample scenario for this is when a manufacturing plant automates processes. Leaders provide reskilling workshops for machine operators to become maintenance technicians, ensuring no one is left behind. So, to sum it up, these pillars show how leadership drives coaching, mentorship, and continuous learning in practice. By setting vision, fostering culture, personalizing growth, embracing technology, encouraging collaboration, and managing change, leaders ensure both people and organizations thrive. So, why it matters? So, it matters because as organizations today face rapid technological, social, and economic changes, leadership must evolve to ensure teams remain agile, innovative, and resilient. Learning and development are no longer optional. They are essential for navigating complexity and uncertainty. Like for technological change, new tools like AI and automation reshape industries. Leaders must coach employees to adapt quickly. Like for example, in a bank introduces mobile first services. So of course, leaders must mentor their staff to reskill in digital banking, ensuring smooth customer experiences. And in a social change, diverse multi-generational workforces require inclusive leadership. Coaching and mentorship help bridge generational gaps. For example, a senior engineer mentors younger colleagues, sharing experience while learning new digital skills from them. And in economic change, market volatility demands resilience. Continuous learning helps employees stay relevant and organizations remain competitive. For example, during an economic downturn, a retail chain trains staff in customer relationship management. Its impact, strong leadership in learning and development creates measurable benefits. It enhances employee engagement and retention. Employees feel valued when leaders invest in their growth. Coaching builds confidence. Mentorship provides guidance, and continuous learning keeps work meaningful. For example, a tech company offering mentorship programs sees lower turnover because employees feel supported in career growth. Second, builds leadership pipelines and succession readiness. Developing future leaders ensures continuity. Mentorship prepares high potential employees to step into leadership roles. For example, a hospital trains junior doctors through mentorship, ensuring a steady pipeline of future medical leaders. And the last one fosters a culture of collaboration and innovation. When leaders encourage learning, teams share knowledge and innovative together. For example, a manufacturing firm creates cross department coaching circles. Engineers and designers collaborate, leading to faster product innovation. To wrap up, leadership for learning and development matters because it equips organizations to thrive amid change. Its impact is seen in engaged employees, strong leadership pipelines, and cultures of innovation, all driven by coaching, mentorship, and continuous learning. So, in conclusion, leadership for learning and development is a strategic necessity in today's fast changing world. Through mentorship, coaching, and continuous learning, leaders can empower individuals to adapt, grow, and contribute meaningfully to organizational success. Mentorship builds trust and career resilience. Coaching strengthens performance and accountability. Continuous learning fuels innovation and alignment with evolving goals. By embedding these practices into leadership frameworks, organizations not only enhance engagement and retention but also cultivate future ready leaders. Ultimately, leadership for learning and development is a dynamic, learner centered process that drives both personal transformation and organizational excellence.